Hello and welcome back to Embrace the Narrative. This is the second game in our Warcry campaign. In this campaign, we are following the exploits of the Cypher Lords, and they are embarked on the Trial of Champions. Now, it is a campaign quest out of the original core book. We're keeping things as core as possible, but I love what they added with the Trial of Champions, how when characters die, they have to be replaced by being purchased. You can't just have as many guys as you want. And it's awesome. Plus the injuries that they added bring so much. The Cypher Lords are embarked on the Spy in the House of Talons campaign. This is the second normal game. The next one is actually going to be, what are these things? It's going to be Convergence. So the next game you see will be a Convergence. What we drew, everything that we drew is random. We drew a really nice deployment this time that is also going to work very handily with the terrain. So we're doing a Blood Rush, which is going to have both sides deployed evenly right off the top, and they would be caraming straight into one another, fighting to the death, were it not for the objective that we drew. Today's game is Victory Purge. Now, typically the players would roll off to decide who would be the attacker and the defender, and the attacker would secretly pick and note down one of the quarters of the battlefield, northeast and all that. At the end of the third battle round, the attacker will reveal the quarter of the battlefield they picked, and if any of the defender's fighters are wholly within that quarter, the defender would win the battle. Well, as you probably know if you watched the last episode, I am playing both the attackers and the defenders in this game. There's no way to keep a secret from myself, but we can randomize it with a 4-sided dice. So what's going to happen is I am going to play the defenders. Nope. The defenders. The Cypher Lords are going to be the defenders in this match, and the Iron Golems are going to play the attackers. So the Iron Golems are coming to defile my land. This is a hangout for the Cypher Lords. This is where they work on their magic, and the Iron Golems have come in to destroy my crap. And so we've hid something secret in one of the quarters, and how this is going to work is I'm going to have to defend all four. I gotta try and divvy up, and then at the end of the game, I'm going to roll the 4-sided dice to see if I landed on the pre-assigned location. I think that's going to be pretty narrative. That's going to make things go exactly the way we want them to. We're going to get a fun, heated battle where I'm not actually going to know the outcome. So this could be pretty fun. It is a nice random variable that you can do at home too. You can play Warcry by yourself if you've got a box and you're sheltered in place, or heck, nobody wants to come over for the evening. Play Warcry by yourself. It is a lot of fun, actually. I've been very much enjoying it. Now we drew an awesome twist. The 8 points are a dangerous place. The lands are crazy. Chaos reigns, and sometimes a blizzard can come out of nowhere. A sudden freezing snap sweeps across the 8 points, and rival warbands find themselves fighting for their lives in sub-zero temperatures. Now, no ability or attack action can be used to target an enemy fighter more than 9 inches away this battle, which isn't really going to be an issue. Most of my attack ranges are 2 and 3 inches. And in addition, after a fighter's activation, if they did not make a move action in that activation, we're going to roll a dice, and on a 1, they're going to take 3 points of damage from being so cold. This is going to be awesome. We've got a great layout. The assignment was fantastic, and the deployment has us all over the place, and then the victory condition is going to make sure that every corner of this board gets used. We literally have to go to every corner of the board. And the Iron Golems can be hard to dislodge, but I might just try and outrun them. I might just try and stay on my feet and survive, and utilize their slow movement and my quick movement to my advantage. Now, if you were watching the last video, you may remember that some of the Cypher Lords were taken out of battle. In the post-game windup, I did roll for injuries, and Zinch Protect, we had some injuries, and they could be bad. They're not permanent, they are temporary, but Carastus Pulos, the Mindbound 1, which is this model right here, who's in my dagger, suffered a concussion. She got hit in the head really hard with that axe, jarred her memory, and unfortunately, any abilities that she uses will be reduced by 1 value until she recovers from a concussion. So that could be huge. And then the Mindbound number 2, who is back here in the corner, this is Mindbound number 2, took a dagger to the gut. She's bleeding out and she suffered a gut wound. This one sucks. Truscala Coriglio has half of her wound value. The Mindbound only have 10 hit points. Truscala has 5. Truscala is starting this game with 5 hit points. That's rough. And the Iron Golems are coming in fresh. I didn't roll up any injuries for them. Let's just say in their last game they were clean. So this could be bad. Well, could be good. Let's find out. But enough about what could be. Let's get to what is, and let's start all great games of Warcry like we do with the hero phase. Let's let the away team roll their initiative dice first and see what they've got. We've got 2 3s. We've got a 2. We got a little bit of everything. This is a little bit of everything. We got 2 5s, 2 3s, a 1, a 2, and a 6. So that's 3 singles and 2 doubles. And now for the Cypher Lords, what do we have here? We've got 2 2s. We've got 2 1s. We've got a 5, a 6, and a 3. That's 2 doubles and 3 triples, just like the Iron Golems. If you're counting at home, folks, that's a tie. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you figured that out before I told you. So that means that we have to have a roll-off before we can even decide who's going to get to assign their wild dice first. And I did it again. I rolled 7 dice. So that means I got to re-roll the initiative roll. It just happens. It's just 7 dice sitting there. Sometimes you forget to set one aside. What in the hell was that? While I was picking up the dice, I grabbed a glass of water, drinking like all Chaos Fighters should from a skull cup. The blood of my enemy. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off, shall we? We're going to roll 2, 4, 6 dice in the hero phase. And if you played this game, you know that these dice control not only initiative, but the abilities that you're going to have at your disposal. Each dice value has an assigned ability that are unique to each faction, and then there are universal abilities as well, and as I use them, I will explain them. If you have played at home, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't played and you're just checking the game out, you're going to learn enough to understand that this game is awesome and that you want to play it. Okay. It looks like I rolled the exact same thing as last time. We've got 4 singles. Well, and by exact same thing, I mean another tie. So when it's a tie, you roll off to see who assigns the wild dice first. 6 beats of 4, which means the Cypher Lords get to assign their wild dice first. So we'll just make that a value that doesn't exist there, value that doesn't exist there. Do I want to go first or do I want to triple? I want to triple 5. I would like to be able to use Shadowy Recall and be able to manipulate and move a model around on the battlefield. That would be great. And the Iron Golems would also... The Iron Golems are going to set their wild dice aside, and they're going to get to use 2 wild dice in the beginning of the next turn, which could potentially give them a huge advantage, but I also know that Shadowy Recall can give the Cypher Lords a huge edge. So we're going to have that at our disposal on the first turn. It might keep someone alive. You never know. Well, with that being said, we're going to clean up the unused wild dice, or priority dice, and we're going to put the priority dice that we're going to keep. Priority dice, hero dice. Hero dice? I don't know what they're called. They're in that book, but I'm not going to pick that book up again because we want to get things moving. So, we still have a singles dice tie, which means it is now a roll-off to see who's going to go first. Now, you don't get to decide. If you win, you don't get to choose to go second like in some Games Workshop's games. In this game, if you roll higher, you go first. Them's the breaks, son. Handle it. Okay. You get 3 turns. We have to split the Cypher Lords up and put them in different corners of the battlefield and survive until the 3rd turn. And if I don't move, I can take damage. This is a chilly, scary thing. I'm going to reread this. Okay, so I can do a move and a wait. I can do a move and an attack. But if I do an attack and an attack, then I got to roll. I could take damage. Or if I just straight wait, then I'll have to roll. I could take damage. So let's start dancing around to the outside of the board. We want to get guys near that center line. So without wasting too much ado, the Cypher Lords are going to devise a plan, and they're going to start slowly skulking their way up towards the center of the board. This one might start out a little bit boring, folks, so I'm going to do some explaining while I do some moving. The Iron Golems just literally want to smash and destroy, and these guys right in the front are almost already in a position to do that. So our little, what are they called? The Iron Golems have guys, they're called Legionnaires. Our little Iron Legionnaire here moves 4 inches. If he does a double move, he can get in contact with this guy here and prevent him from moving. And then if he has to do attacks on his turn, oh, this is going to be fun. Check this out. If he pins this guy down in movement, he's going to move 4 inches, and then he's going to move another 4 inches. And he's toughness 5. He don't care. He'll take a wallop. That doesn't bother him whatsoever. He'll put his shield up. He'll lean in and brace it. So now when this guy goes to make 2 attacks, he's actually going to have to roll to potentially suffer cold snap damage. So that's going to work to the Iron Golem's advantage. Over to the Cypher Lords here. They're putting together a little plan. They're doing some incantations and praying to Tzeentch, who I believe is their deity. I mean, it just makes sense, and that's how I want to play them. So we're gonna keep repositioning here. I think that this squad is gonna move a little bit forward. This is the heavy hitting squad. This is my hammer over here. Let's move them up and around and keep them to the outside. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Moving terrain, we're moving models in a hurry, so we're bumping stuff. That's okay, we can slow down. That's a double move, no Frosty for them. The second group of Legionnaires. Ooh, how long do the bolas attack? That bola attack is 3 inches on this Iron Legionnaire here. Let's move them. They're 4 inches. Can you get up and get into attack range? 4 inches. We'll bring you to there. There you go. Take a nice, long, tasty look. And yes, I'd say that he can. Let's zoom in and take a look at that. There we go. That completely looks to me like he's going to be able to smoke her in the face with some bolas. So we are going to pick up 3 dice. Where's my rolling dice? They're right in front of me, silly. We're going to pick up 3 rolling dice. We're going to check our strength. We got a strength of 3. We're going to check the toughness on this Mindbound. You are toughness 3. So ties means 4 ups. Let's see it. What are we looking for? We're looking for 4s. We got a 1, we got a 3, and a 5. How much damage do we do with a regular hit? That's 1 damage to the single dagger wielding Mindbound. Oh, that's not what I want. This is what I want. You got the single dagger. That means you're designated as model number 1. Okay. Now, that Mindbound could jump up and fight that guy, but then she's putting herself in some serious danger. She got hit in the face, but she's seen her friend about to get hit in the face, and so this mirror blade, no, you're Mindbound. So this Mindbound is going to move 4 inches. She's going to run up over these stairs. She's going to run and do a flip, do a nice like little 360 maneuver, landing behind this Iron Legionnaire. And she's going to do some attacking of her own. Now, the goal in this one is definitely not to try and kill the Iron Golems. That is really hard. I have to outmaneuver them. I got to stay alive. I got to be tricksy ninjas. The Cypher Lords are the ninjas in this campaign. They really are. They have ninjutsu, sneak attacks. They're really cool. They're really fun for that reason. So, this is Mirror Blade, Mindbound. This is Mindbound. Number 2, we get 4 attacks. I don't have a double to enhance that. We're just going to keep it at 4 attacks. We're strength 3. He's toughness 5. That means I need 5s up. And I got 2 6s. Let's take a look in that box there. That's 2 6s. That's 2 crits. How much damage do you do on a critical? 3 damage. Oh, moly. 6 damage to the Iron Legionnaire. That's big, folks. That is big. You have the 2-section stick. That means that you are Iron Legionnaire. Number 2, taking damage. All right. So he's gone. I think that guy's going to get rubbed out, folks. It's very possible that that guy's going to get smacked off the board. So we'll clean this up. It was a nice clean dagger stab to the back. Just shuttle it in between his armor. Got another one in there. That was crippling. All right, and now it's time for another Iron Golem to make the assault. Let's keep this dagger moving in. Let's get these guys up, pinching. Now, if I was the Iron Golems, which I am, I'm also the Iron Golems, I need to kill, basically. I just need to make it so there aren't enough Cypher Lords left on the battlefield to have a model in every corner. So the Iron Golems have a very clear-cut objective in this game. Make sure that there isn't even 4 Cypher Lords remaining. Okay, so with that being said, let's let's be distracting. Let's run up and give this guy someone else to fight. Give this girl, this lady, this gal, someone else to fight on her next turn. Now, she runs up, quick little body check, puts her in position, just lets her know he's there. It's like a hockey goaltender. Just let him know I'm in your crease. Okay. The next Cypher Lord that we're going to activate, I'd like to do something big here. Let's get some action. Let's get something happening. Let's do this. Let's activate this Mindbound. Why can't I remember? Their names are very similar, so please forgive me for not remembering the difference between Mirror Blade and Mindbound. The Mindbounds are the little ones, the Mirror Blades are the big ones. So let's activate this Mindbound right here, who's going to get to make a full round of attacks, but this is going to hurt in the process. Potentially. You got to roll a 1. All right. But as you know, we've got 4 attacks, and we're strength 3, and that guy is toughness 5. So we need 5s and 6s. We got 2 5s. 2 5s is 2 damage. 2 damage brings this guy within inches of his life. 2 little dagger slices. Oh, sneaks one into the neck, a nice little slice. That hurt. Did you like that? Would you like some more of that? Oh, the crit to finish it. Goof right into the throat. This Iron Legionnaire falls back, slumps to death. Although the thing is, he's not actually dead. He could just be really wounded. So take what I said with a grain of salt. That Iron Legionnaire is very injured and removed from the battle. The first kill goes to Truscala. No, that was Palania. Palania Halpernus. Palania Halpernus. I named everybody, used the book, just rolled forward. If it was the same name, I tried to alter it a little bit. Okay, but Palania, the Mindbound, stood still for 2 turns. Therefore, I got to roll a dice. Let's take a look in that dice box. Let's see if this is exciting. I missed the dice box, but I rolled a 3. No damage taken. Okay, all right. Now, we are going to have to activate an Iron Golem. And this Iron Golem is going to have to move a little bit further than the last Iron Golem moved. Let's do the leader. I'm looking right at him. He's right here. You've been looking at him this whole time. This leader moves 4 inches. It's very likely he's going to do a double move. I don't think we have to worry about that. You know what that guy likes doing? Hitting stuff with his hammer. That guy is a giant, crazy, weird blacksmith from a deep chaos land. And he spends his days smashing things with a hammer. And he spends his night smashing people with a hammer. That's right, folks. He's sadistic. Okay. We're going to walk straight up because it doesn't make sense to walk anywhere else. Let's go this way. We're going to move a little bit over here because he's going to try and control at this territory because the Cypher Lords are sneaking up this way. This is going to be tough. Oh my goodness. I got to stay alive, hey? Stay alive and get 1 person in every corner of the board. I haven't really thought my strategy through. I tend to evolve. I don't strategize. That is not my strong suit. Storytelling and reacting, that's my strong suit. I need to learn to like pre-plan and come up with an idea. Okay, so now we are going to activate a Cypher Lord. Let's climb down. I don't want to drop. I don't want to take any unnecessary damage. So we're going to move forward an inch. And then we're going to move down 3 inches. So that's 4 inches of our move. We get to move an additional inch on that movement activation. And then we're going to... Oh, I could get into attack range because I attack 2 inches. Okay. We're going to move this mirror blade to stand within 2 inches of this Iron Legionnaire. And on the next turn, we're going to get to chopping. I don't want to get locked up, but it also behooves me to remove Iron Golem models as well. If they're all on the battlefield, it's going to be harder for me to avoid them. So if I can put in key pincer attacks, bump some guys out, and then just basically like run away. This could be silly, but ninjas got to evade. Sometimes you need to use the knight and not fully engage with your enemy. Okay, so that's going to bring us now back over to the Iron Golems. Let's do Ogor. Ogor to love to smash. So he moves 4 inches. Let's get that Ogor running up. He's going to make his basic 4, and then he's going to make a secondary 4. All the action seems to be in the middle of the table. When you're an angry ogre, everything is in front of you. Okay, there we go. Did I name Ogor? Does Ogor have a name? Garn. His name's Garn. Garn Banner. Garn. The Iron Golem. Oh yeah, he's ready to smash. Okay. If you've played against the Iron Golems at home, let me know in the comment section, how well did you handle them when they were in a wall coming right towards you? This is a really, really scary proposition for the Cypher Lords right now. Really, really scary. I need to be smart or I'm just going to get tabled. They're going to literally rub me off the battlefield. Okay. We need to start thinking about... Well, we also want this to be entertaining. I don't want this whole video to just be the Cypher Lords running away. That's not going to be a lot of fun for anybody. So I still got to make sure we got to play the mission, we got to play the narrative, and we got to play an entertaining video. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this. So if you're painting along while I'm playing, You know, I hope you're thinning your paints properly. I hope everything's going on nicely. I hope you don't spill your Nuln Oil. That is a hot commodity right now, apparently, until the Games Workshop store gets open up again. But it'll be open by the time you watch this video. It's not open as of the time of recording. Okay. Mindbound number 3 is going to do some acrobatic maneuvering. He's going to climb 3 inches up this wall and then scamper 2 inches over and get into a scouting position. I know that I can be hit by this guy with the bowl of chains because that attack goes 3 inches, so if he gets below me, he can attack up. So I think it might be wise to get towards the back of this. I can, from here, I can run a giant. I can do any number of things from up here, and I'm relatively safe. The Iron Golems move pretty slow, and so it costs a whole lot of movement. It costs an entire turn of movement for them to climb up a wall because they have to move up 3 inches and then over 1, and that uses their whole 4 inches. So it's harder for them to get to and up. I should be a little bit safer if I aim for the high ground. Now, we're going to move the Iron Golems, everybody's favorite, the Armator, the tiny little guy. He only moves 3 inches. Armator can actually not climb a wall because he does not have that extra inch of movement to get on top of the platform. Speaking of climbing platforms. Let's use this. I love this tool. It's 3 inches. Armator waddles forward. He's got short legs. He's not in a hurry. He just wants to bash. He's also moving for that scary, scary center point. He knows there's fun up here to be had, and he's going to come have it. Which way should Armator go? I need to start thinking about defending the outsides as the Iron Golems. They've taken the bait too much. They need to start spreading out. So on my next activation, we're going to take the Bannerman, and we're going to send them around the outside, and we're also going to take the Bola Chain Betty. She's going to go around the outside as well. That is the Drill Master. Purged the Drill Master is going to go to the outside. So in the theme of keeping it strategic here, the Cypher Lords are going to skirt the outside boundaries of this battlefield and see if we can kind of wrap the Iron Golems. And we're not going to get centered. We're gonna wrap around the Iron Golems, and we're going to keep the Iron Golems in the center, and we're going to see if we can keep our models alive on the outside. I know that I came up with that plan to get a Cypher Lord to the middle of the table, but in hindsight, I don't really know about that anymore because we are currently pincer maneuvering these Iron Golems to be stuck in the center of the board. So let's move you to here. Let's finish your movement, and let's send it over to the Iron Golems, who are getting a whiffing of magic dust. And being that these Iron Golems worship corn in my narrative, they hate magic. Bannerman, the signifier, moves 4 inches. He's slow, he's steady, he's methodical. He doesn't always win the race. I'm surprised he can even fit through that doorway. He's running. He sees it. He wants it. He's going to smash it with his hammer. He knows what he does best. Okay, so that puts him in hurt range. We have one Iron Golem left. We have one Cypher Lord left, and we have a Cypher Lord who waited after their first activation. Can you move after you've waited? I'm going to have to look into what waiting does. All right, and in keeping with the theme of the pincer maneuver, a little bit of ninjutsu, a little bit of keeping them guessing, making them wonder, we are going to have the Cypher Lord's leader create that outer wing on the right-hand side and begin flanking out the Iron Golems, which it looks like we might get into some hot leader-on-leader action a little bit later in the game, because the two head honchos are now staring each other down, and they're giving dirty, dirty looks. The Iron Golem leader wants to crush and destroy this Cypher Lord's helmet and grind it into little bits of gold, and he's going to make another trinket for his belt. And the Cypher Lords, they don't want that. They like living. They are very partial to living. Okay, there's one last activation for the Iron Golems, and it is all the way at the back. It's the Drill Master I just introduced you to. Now, she moves 5 inches. The Drill Master can boogie. Uh-oh. Things aren't looking too good for the Cypher Lords, folks. That Drill Master went a lot farther and a lot faster than I thought that they were going to on that turn. I got to do a quick look in the book. I'm still not entirely sure how wait actions work. You can move and then wait. You can wait and then move. It's kind of strange, and I just got to check a reference. Okay, so waiting is a tricky proposition. If you move and then wait, it's said to be using your last activation to end your activation. You can't do anything else. Waiting is an action. So if your first activation, you choose your first action to wait, you use your first activation, and then if somebody comes to you and attacks you, you can then activate that model and take one action, and that action can be to attack or disengage, but you would probably attack. So waiting is an action. So that means that when I used that model earlier and I moved them and I had them wait, waiting ended their activation. So this model back here is also done, and that is the end of the first turn. A lot of moving, a lot of jostling, a lot of energy, and we had one dead Iron Golem. The Cypher Lords are at full capacity. They've taken 1 wound. Let's go to the cleanup. Okay, it's the top of the second turn. There are 2 full turns left in this game. The Iron Golems are in near smashing distance. In one activation, each of them are going to be in smashing distance. So this is a big turn. This is going to go one way or the other way, but either way, it's going some way. And stick around and find out, folks, because there's going to be a lot of dice getting rolled and a lot of heads getting smashed. Hopefully at this point you notice that the Cypher Lords are a little more painted than they were last time. I had a lot of time last night to get in there and throw down some contrast paint, get some skin tone in. I got some silver on them. They're going to get painted up real fast. We're going to have a fully painted warband for the 3rd game. I promise you this. Who they're facing against might not be fully painted. That's probably not going to happen for a little while. But by the end of this thing, by damn it, it's going to be all painted armies. And going into the 2nd campaign, all painted everything. I promise you. But we're just getting started. We're just getting rolling. We're not making excuses. We're playing Warcry. Now, 2nd turn, the important thing, it is the initiative phase. We are rolling 6 dice, Cody, 6 dice. We don't roll 7, we roll 6. We're going to start off with the home turf. Is it the home turf? Nope. The Iron Golems are attacking. So we're going to start off with the attackers. We're going to roll their hero dice in the hero phase. Ooh, 666. Amazing. Okay, and a double 2, 1 single. So they might not go first, but they're going to hit me hard. Now, 6 dice for the Cypher Lords. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? We have got a double 5, a single 3, a single 2, a single 1, and a single 6. That means the Cypher Lords are going to go first, but they're not really going to get to throw down anything amazing. I do have a wild dice. I'm going to make it a 5. And the Iron Golems have 2 wild dice because they actually stored a wild dice. We're definitely making that 666 a quad. You can do some really damaging, mean stuff with a 666. And then we may as well just make this double 2 a 222. Why not? We're not going to go first, so let's make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were the Cypher Lords, you'd probably be shaking in your boots right now, and I am. So we're going to set these up so that you can take a look at them and keep track of them at home. I get to use these at any time in my activation. Be it the beginning, middle, or the end of an activation, you can use one of your abilities. Each player, each character, each model can only use one ability at a time unless you were the last model on your team, and then you get to use the Divine Intervention rule, and you can use as many abilities as you want in one activation. Now, the Cypher Lords are going first. We should probably go first where it counts, wouldn't you think? Well, if you take a quick little survey, I think it counts everywhere. If you take a quick look around the board, someone is going to hurt someone on every square inch of this battlefield. So let's make the Cypher Lords think. We're going to take a second to think. There are a lot of options here. All of them are good. One of them is the best. I thought about everything. I thought about every possibility and variety. It took a while, but I edited it out so you have no idea. And the conclusion that I've come to is the most important thing to do is to fight with the Cypher Lord leader first. Move her up, attack the Drill Master. The Drill Master hits really hard. Even with one round of attack with her close range weapon, 4 attacks, strength 4, 4 damage criticals. Getting hit with that would hurt a lot. I'm going to get hit with it anyways, but the least I can do is move in first and do as much damage as I can, because Drill Master could just stand back there and hit me with long range attacks. So this is what I'm thinking. I move the leader up, I get 1 round of attack off. Great. That Drill Master will then have to stand still and hit me twice. Oh, now that I'm talking about this, I don't like the sound of it. Getting hit twice with that club, I could potentially kill that Drill Master. I get 5 attacks, and I got 6 damage criticals. I mean, it could happen, but that would be requiring me to roll 3 6s, and never rely on a character to roll 3 6s for your strategy to work. That is a recipe for disappointment. My other option is I have this Mindbound here, run up and engage Bola Bill, one of the Iron Legionnaires with the bolas. If I do that, it's tying a guy up, and it's 1 less model that's going over here, and I'm just holding them down for a little while. You kind of got to sacrifice your pawns every once in a while. So it might be advantageous to do that. Now, I thought I had a decision, but the second I talked it out with you at home and realized that my idea involved my leader getting smacked in the face twice is when I started to realize that is not my best idea. But now that I'm talking about it again, that Drill Master can Drill Master me in the face with that giant whip chain, because it attacks 3 inches. And is she outside 3 inches? No, that's in. So from right there, Drill Master can hit me in the face twice with that bola. They'll take frost damage, but I don't care. And you go back to the forge and warm up anyways. Probably has hot rocks heated up and stuffed in their padding anyways to keep them nice and warm. So they don't care about that cold. They don't care at all. Well, I thought about it some more, and the best course of action for the Cypher Lords to take is actually to bait the Iron Golems to them. I'm not going to be the first one to step forward. I'm going to let the Iron Golems take the steps in towards me and minimize their attacks while theoretically maximizing the Cypher Lord's attacks. So we're going to start the combat somewhere that it's already been baited in and initiated, and we're just going to attack first with our Mindbound. We're going to get both of our rounds of attacks, which does mean that I'm going to have to roll to see if I take frost damage, but it's going to be worth it because I'm going to get to dole out those blades first and deal a bit of hurt, and then the Iron Golem's got to come to me. Theoretically, this guy lives, but that doesn't really, it's not that big a deal. If he does, the Iron Golems are still going to have to push in because I'm not stepping up to them. So what do we got? We got ourselves a Mindbound. That is a Mindbound with a single dagger. That means that's you. You got 4 attacks, your strength 3. I know that that Iron Legionnaire is toughness 5. So that means I have to roll 5s and 6s to hit. That's a 4. That doesn't hit, but that's a crit right there. Boom, up in that little corner right there. Criticals are going to deal 3 damage. So 3 damage to an Iron Legionnaire is nothing to sneeze at. That's a pretty good hit, actually. That's a good dagger stab right in, we'll call that an armpit. He snuck the dagger in the armpit. She's going to wheel around, do some dancing. She's kind of like Bruce Lee, moving all fast, dancing all quick, throwing down another critical hit. A couple ones, single two, those don't matter. We did another crit. So we have put in some significant damage down on this Iron Legionnaire. He's not dead, but we didn't think we were going to kill him anyways. So I'd say that puts us where we want to be. Now, I do have to take cold snap damage because even though I was dancing around like a martial arts expert, it's still really, really cold. 6s cause no problems. I am going to be okay. Now, do the Iron Golems step forward? Or does that Iron Legionnaire wall it back? Where is a more pertinent place to start fighting, and where is a less pertinent place to start fighting? If I were the Iron Golems, which I am, I would go for optimum bashing efficiency. Over here is an okay place, and I can get all of my attacks off with that Drill Master Slammer, but I would be able to do more damage with the club if that leader would come to me. So I would probably wait on that round of attack, and the most damage that can be done is from this Iron Legionnaire right here, who could potentially die on the next Cypher Lords activation. You don't want to lose a model before they activate. So let's do that. Iron Golems are going to opt to activate their Legionnaire. Legionnaire is not meant for hitting, he's meant for taking damage. He gets 2 attacks, he's strength 3 versus a mind bound is toughness 3, that means 4 ups are going to be do the damage that we want. That's one of them. Like I say, they're not meant to hurt, they're meant to take the hurt. That's 1 damage on a model who's already taken 1 damage from him last time. So now he gets his 2nd round of attack. He's risking the cold for it. He don't care. A 1 and a 4. That 4 goes through. Does it? Yep, because he's strength 3 versus toughness 3. That 4 is what we need. That's 1 more damage. That's going to put you up at 3. He's bashing. He's a little bit slower than our ninjistic mind bound. She cartwheels out of the way and just takes 1 to the thigh. We have to remember who has the half damage. Oh, right. That is this mind bound right here. This mind bound here, let's all remember, only has 5 hit points. I need like a whiteboard marker so I can write that on these little cards here. I think that would help me, and it might help you if you can read these. I hope you can read these. I know this overhead camera isn't the greatest quality, but it's awesome because by using my phone, I can zoom in on the dice box, and then I can move that little box over to the action. We can zoom it out a little bit and just look at the board. The utility on this thing is great. The image quality, it was the first gen they made of this thing. We're going to give them a pass. I think they've gotten better since then. We're just happy we have it. I know I am. Now that being said, the Iron Golems have gone. Oh, cold snap damage. Does he shiver himself to death? He does not. That would have killed him, by the way. It's 3 damage. If you fail the cold snap test, he would have shivered himself to death, and that would have been super funny. We are now to the Cypher Lords. Okay, now the Cypher Lords have another decision to make. If I activate this Mirror Blade, he's got a 2-inch range. He can cut down this Iron Legionnaire. Absolutely would kill him. That would be his first action, and then he would have to move. Then he's moving closer to Ogor. Ogor is in a damaging range of this model right here, and I think I'd like to keep it that way. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice your pawns. I think that if I can cut this guy down, I might not do it in my first action. Then it frees this model up to coax and to convince Ogor to bring it. So let's do it. Let's do it. We are going to activate where it matters. But here's the thing. This model has already activated. It can't do anything else for the rest of the turn. If we kill it now, we're not making headway on this turn. Yeah, we've removed a model, but it's a model that's already been taken out of action. We got to think smart about this. We have to think strategically to make sure that we stay in the fight. The Iron Golems are a very, very tough opponent. Very, very tough. They are single-minded. They walk forward, they bash. They survive and they bash. It's really hard to go up against them sometimes. After much deliberation, I decided to move the battle over to this side of the field and utilize my pawns. I really want to keep my hero alive. The hero on the Cypher Lords is super important, and we all know from my explanation the Drill Master is super tough, does a lot of damage. So let's throw a pawn at that Drill Master and keep it engaged for a little while. Maybe the pawn loses, maybe the pawn gets his head bashed off, but then it's eating up the activation of that Drill Master, and I can move my leader in to finish the job. So this Mindbound moves 5 inches. She's going to do some sweet ninjutsu, do a nice land, roll a dice to see how graceful they landed. A 1 is perfect. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, you take damage on when you drop 3 inches. So that's the only time you want to roll low in this game, is when you're dropping off of a ledge. So as she comes down, she swings her blade into the side of the Drill Master. This Mindbound has 3 attacks, also strength 3. Now this Mindbound has a 2-inch range, so let's land her outside the 1-inch and make Drill Master step in to use her stronger weapon. And then if we block the hero, she will have to engage with us. She can't go for the hero unless she wants to chain bash the hero. Now that's another interesting fact. If you don't engage the Drill Master can just chain bash past you. So in this circumstance, I know it's not optimum. I actually am going to have to step into that 1-inch range, engage the Drill Master. Now Drill Master has to attack the closest enemy, which is my Mindbound, which is my pawn. And the Puppet Master is pulling the strings and has sent that pawn in to do her sweet, sweet bidding. So let's see it. 3 attacks, strength 3 versus toughness 4. You know it by now, folks. That's a 5 up. 6 is the crits. We got a 1-5. That's a happy little 5 in our world, like a happy little cloud. I know it's only 1 damage, but hey, that's 1 less than 15. That's a 10. I didn't do that much damage. That is 1 less wound that I have to take off later. Okay, so that was hopefully a very smart activation for the Cypher Lords, but we won't know until we look back later and think to ourselves, that was stupid, or I'm glad I did that. Now we've got the Iron Golems. I want to see Ogor do something, and he's got a nice, juicy target. Let's zoom in on that. Let's get a little bit tighter. Let's look at that burrowing stare into the eyes of that sweet, sweet Mindbound, who he's going to absolutely gobble, crush, and destroy. It's very likely that Ogor is going to use Living Battering Ram. Yeah, that's a triple. We're going to hold on to that 6, though, because you can do some mean stuff with a 6. Living Battering Ram, the next time this fighter finishes a move action within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, pick an enemy and allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability. Yeah, 2 extra damage on a Mindbound. That'll wreck. That'll get him closer to dead. Let's do it. They only have 10 hit points anyways. So what's going to happen is Ogor is going to put his head down and just, you've seen the X-Men. You know what Juggernaut does. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Let's see it, folks. I already pre-measured. I knew that he could get in. Ogor comes flying in, slams into the side of the Mindbound. Somehow they struggle to stay on their feet. Takes 2 damage right off the top. Ouch. Oh my gosh. She almost breaks her wrists as she braces against the weight of Ogor bearing down on her. Ogor gets 2 attacks. 2 attacks. But he is strength 6. That means 3's to hit. That's a hit and a hit. Each hit does 4 damage. That's 8 damage to a model who took 2 from the charge. Slams into her, hammers down, and just takes that Mindbound out of action. Oof, before she even had a chance to act. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. The Cypher Lords are now down a model. Uh-oh. We'll see how they can recover from this. That was rough. That is what Ogor does second best. What Ogor does first best is survive. Ogor smash, Ogor no care. Okay, now we got to start thinking even more strategically than we were already thinking, because we're down a model and we're about halfway through the second turn. I need to make sure that models are moving that way on the battlefield. If at the end of the game I've got everyone on this half, I have only 50% chance of winning. And it occurred to me after the last activation that if I let the signifier come to me, he'll be able to pin both my models in place and I won't be able to move as far. So I actually want to get to the signifier and bring the battle to that side of the battlefield. So for this round of activation, I am going to bring it over to the left-hand side, and we are going to activate our mirror blade and bring them right in to the face of the signifier. I might spend that triple on a universal ability. That's what I got. We might onslaught. I might make an additional attack. 5 attacks at strength 4 versus a toughness 4 model. That's 1 additional dice to try and get a crit. I don't think I need to use Shadowy Recall this turn. I don't really know how much of a difference that's going to make, because if I pull my models out of the middle, then there's nothing left for the Iron Golems to fight in the center. I need to try and keep them pinned down. The problem is keeping Ogor occupied is an impossible task. 4 damage regular, 8 damage critical. Nobody can survive against that. Be like at the end of the Ninja Turtles 2, when the whole dock falls on Super Shredder. Nobody could survive that. Not even the Super Shredder. So there is a way to take down Ogor. We need to get him under this bell tower and then let him smash the bell tower out, and the bell tower collapse on him. That brass bell falls on his head, and we just hit it with a sword. And you've seen cartoons. You know what's going to happen. That's the best chance we stand against Ogor. Otherwise, we're in a lot of trouble. I think we need to start kiting Ogor, if anything. He only moves 4 inches. So it actually might be in my best interests to save that triple and use Shadowy Recall and get my models out of that center point. We lured them into the center, and I think now we need to get out and use our speed to our advantage, because our strength against the Iron Golems is not in smashing. So as you may recall, the Mirror Blades have an attack range of 2, which means that they can get their attacks off and their opponent will have to step in order to get an attack off. And the Signifier does not have a ranged weapon. So in order to properly engage the Signifier, we're going to stay outside that 2-inch range, and we're going to make him have to step into us, which is going to reduce the amount of impacts we're going to take. Thinking smart. Thinking like a Cypher Lord. We're going to save that triple. I think we're going to use that Shadowy Recall to save the center of the table and try and hold the edges for as long as possible. That might be the best course of action in this battle, because going toe-to-toe with the Iron Golems is not the way to go. So we are going to make a single attack over here, though. We have got 4 attacks with the mirror blades. We're strength 4 against a toughness 4 model. Wouldn't you know? Go figgity figure. That means we need 4 ups. And we got 2 of them. And a critical. That was a beautiful thing. That's 9 damage. 9 damage on the signifier, who has 15 damage, means that he's halfway going back home. Okay, all right. I can get behind that. That was a good turn. That was a very good turn. What would have happened if I spent the triple? I don't know. Maybe I would have rolled another 6. That would have done 5 more damage. It still wouldn't have put him away. He would have still been there by 1. Anything could have happened, folks. Anything could have happened, but I know what did happen. And it was good. Now, more options to take from the Iron Golems. And I know what I'd like them to be. Their hero is going to call out to the signifier and just tell him to let that little mind bound to have it. Hit him with your club. Hit him with your club. So we have 4 attacks with that horrible club, and we're going to be making all of them. Has anyone stood still recently? No, it's been a while since somebody stood still. But this character is about to stand still. Now, we're strength 4. Mindbounders are toughness 3. That means it's 3 ups to smash. That's 2 4s. That's 2 hits. We do 2 damage each with that horrible looking club in our left hand there. It's kind of like a nunchuck. It's like a spike nunchuck. That is mean. Okay, that means 4 damage are being delegated onto the brain of this. Let's go to the wide so you can see it. This Mindbound right here is going to take 4 damage. Not too many more damage to put him out. This could end abruptly for the Mindbound, but that's okay. Doing his job, keeping the hero safe. Oh yeah, it's over. That's over. That's 2, 3 hits and a crit. That means that the signifier just goes bananas and just pummels this poor Mindbound into the dirt and does 10 wicked damage. Would have killed her in a single go if that was her first activation. The second Cypher Lord has been taken out of the game. Oh gosh. Okay. That is one less model that I'm going to be able to use to hold a board edge. Okay, we got to think, and we got to think smart about this. I need to help these 2 models. They cannot be left alone against the hero and the drill master. Drill master only has 1 damage, and by the time that hero gets to me, my hero's going to have taken a lot more damage. I think what I need to do is get my hero up, take an attack, and get ready to fight their hero next turn. That is pretty much what I can do. I need to keep this gut wounded model safe. I almost want to hide her back there, or I kind of maybe tuck him back in the corner. I know it's cowardly, but it's going to guarantee this corner, and if I don't, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Ladies and gentlemen at home, we have our next course of action. These Cypher Lords are going to activate their leader. And what's going to happen is she's going to step up, move as many inches of that 5 as she can, because we're trying to get to that back corner. We have to be within 1 inch to attack this model. So we're going to move to here. We are going to make an attack with that sweet, sweet fan. This is going to be 5 attacks. That's strength 4 versus a toughness 4 model. So as again, we need 4 ups to make that hit. Oof, that was a really pathetic attack. That is only 2 damage to this model. Just so you know, the Cypher Lord has the ability to kill that model in 1 hit, but she didn't do it. On a crit, the Mind Master, Cypher Master, Master Blaster, Thrall Master. Oh, so close. On a crit, Thrall Master does 6 damage. So 2 crits, that's 12 damage, and a hit is 2 damage. So 2 crits and a hit would have taken Drill Master out of the game. Actually, just 2 crits would have taken Drill Master out of the game. But, you know, like I said earlier, there's no sense dwelling on what could have happened. And you know I'm not editing the tape, because if I was editing the tape, I'd be telling you about all the damage that I just did to Drill Master with all those crits. But that's not the case. So now what's going to happen is I am afraid of that untamed Iron Golem Dominar, Malik Grell. We're afraid of the Dominar because he's scary. We don't know what he can do, but we know that he's a scary monster. And I can see that my opponent sitting across from me has a quad, and I know what's passable with a quad. So what's going to happen is the Thrall Master is going to pull out one of those Gloom Globes that she's got stashed there, smash it in front of her, going to burn that triple. And what that does is creates a aura of smoke around her for 6 inches, that anyone who attacks within that aura is going to have their attack value reduced by 1. So when that Dominar charges in, he's going to get 1 less attack per attack round. And I think something bad is about to happen. Now, that's the end of the Cypher Lords activation, and we're going to go right into that big bad Dominar Iron Golem, who is going to move forward 4 inches. And now, remember I was talking earlier about how you can use abilities as interrupts. When you use the universal quad, you need to use it as an interrupt, because the way that it works is that you gain a bonus move action, then you make a bonus attack action. It doesn't really matter, but it does matter. If you use it first, you make a bonus move action and then an attack action. Well, there's no one here. So what you have to do is you got to make your bonus move action, or you make your first move action. You move 4 inches. That's your first action. Then you spend your quad. When you spend that quad, you get to make a bonus move action. So he now gets to move forward 4 inches, and he's going to close out that leader. This is bad. This is really bad. And then he is going to make a bonus attack action. Now, he's only made 1 action. So this bonus attack action is going to be at -1 hit because of that shattered Gloom Globe on the ground. Let's face these 2 off. He is strength 5. My Thrall Master's toughness 4. That means 3 ups. 1 of them goes through. It does 2 damage to my Thrall Master. And now, that was just the bonus attack action. Now he gets to make his base attack action, which is still -1 dice because of that shattered Gloom Globe, all that ninja smoke in the air. He's having a hard time lining up that hit with that gigantic hammer. And he does get 2 hits through, so that is 4 more damage. The smoke helped a little bit because it could have been a lot worse. 2 even, that's 4. 4 plus 2 is 7. Let's add a 5 to that, and we're going to have 7 damage on our Thrall Master. That was bad. That wasn't good. That was bad. And now our hero is surrounded by metal and mean. We are not in a good position here. We have to figure out a way to get another model into this corner, or hope we can shadowy recall this model up into this corner and then run a model back into that corner. As much as I want to just bash these Iron Golems, I genuinely cannot. I have to outthink them and I have to outmaneuver them, or they're gonna win. They're just gonna win, and that's not what we want here. So now it is the Cypher Lord's turn. Thinking about maneuvering, we are going to, I should put the tokens on the side that I can see, because I keep thinking that Ogor hasn't gone. When you tell this many stories, you lose track of exactly where you are in the game. And so every once in a while, I kind of forget whose turn it is. I should almost use this first turn marker to flip-flop back and forth to show whose turn it is. That might help me when I look down. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if that works for me. Let's keep track of that. Okay, so we now have the Illuminate, who can activate and move 5 inches, and then also stay outside 1 inch from that signifier, get in a smack, maybe do a little bit more damage, and maybe get him off the battlefield, because he's sitting with 9 hurt, so I could potentially kill him. That would make things a lot easier on that side of the battlefield. Or I activate this kid here and run him that way and try and keep him safe. But they've all activated in this area, and neither of these two can actually get within attack range. So let's do it. Let's do it where it matters. Let's move the Luminate up 5 inches. She is now wholly within the other half of the battlefield. At the bottom of the 3rd turn, that would cover that. I now have, okay, I do have all 4 corners covered, but I don't know if this hero is gonna last through an entire turn of getting smashed in the face. That's 1 whole turn of getting smashed in the face back there, folks. So I need to cover some bases here. But let's stick to the task at hand. Let's attack with our Illuminate. Our Illuminate gets 5 attacks. Good gravy. Okay, strength 4 versus toughness 4. You know the drill. Yes, 3 successes, 2 hits, 1 crit. How much damage do we do? That is 9 damage. What is 9 plus 9? That's 18. 18 beats 15. That means that a flying, leaping, dagger, javelin, blade thing to the face takes down the signifier. That was big. Very, very big. I now very likely have these corners safe. But this is where it matters. This is where the difference is going to get made. All right, Iron Golem's turn. What are they going to do? I want to celebrate that for a little minute. I kind of want to like dance in it, because that felt really, really good. Really good. I got my purple on for Tzeentch. It's the same color as the hair tufts. Feeling really patriotic about the Cypher Lords here. I'm really getting into it. So that was rewarding. I got a little bit of a glee going on. I don't know if you can tell, I don't know if you can see it, but I can feel it. It's either going to be Wattlesworth here. Oh, let's go back up to the wide so you can see what I'm talking about. We're either going to activate the Armator. I call him Wattlesworth. He moves slow. He's got short legs, tiny feet. He's pretty funny. He's pretty cute. Kind of reminds me of myself. And then we've also got Bola Bill. He's one of the Iron Legionnaires. So he could go after the leader, or he could try and take down this guy here, which I think is what he's going to do. He is going to make sure that this back corner is not easily taken. Important question. Has anybody not moved? Did I miss an icy cold patch, icy hot patch roll for somebody? Or has everybody been properly dealt with? I have 2 Cypher Lord models left. What the heck's going on? This is crazy. Okay, so the first one that I can activate, it could be this guy right here, who could probably kill that guy. That's 1 less Iron Golem that I gotta deal with. And I think it's the best course of action. If I can kill him in 1 hit, then I can move. And then I don't take that cold patch roll. Here's the real question, do I move away? from Iron Golem, or do I step into Ogre? Let's just find out what happens when I attack. I have got 4 attacks. I'm strength 4. That Legionnaire is toughness 5. That's a hit and a crit. Can it do it? Does it do it? Big old greatsword strike down to 7 damage to an Iron Legionnaire who's taken 4 wounds. That's right, he cuts him. He cuts him hard, he cuts him bad, he cuts him right off the battlefield. Okay, so that was my first activation. I now have a second activation that I have to be really smart with, because that is Ogre. Ogre is within an inch, so Ogre is actually engaged. I know exactly what I am going to do. I am running after this Bullet Bill Legionnaire, because that might help protect this corner. Yeah, that's what's up. That is absolutely what's up. There is one left guy to activate for the Iron Golems. That is the Armator, who moves 3 inches, 1 waddle, and then is going to jump into combat with this poor pawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I know who's dying in the next turn, and their name rhymes with this guy. Yeah, no, that's definitely going to happen. I'm not. Whoever goes first is going to kill that guy. That is the bottom of the second turn. There's only 1 turn left. So let's do the cleanup and take a look at what action is developed. Okay, going into the third turn, we're going to do a little bit of a recap. So far, the Iron Golems have lost 3 models. One of them was important. That Signifier is able to increase the toughness of everyone in an aura around him in 6 inches. So he was actually a pretty strong model to have gone. He is dead, so we'll actually flip his card over so that I don't get confused. And other than that, only a couple models on the Iron Golems have taken damage. The Cypher Lords have lost 2 models. They lost 2 of the Mindbound Pawns, and their hero has taken 7 damage. Everyone else is fresh, and I'm going to remind you that this Mindbound here has a gut wound. So he only has 5 hit points. It is not going to take a lot to put him out of the battle. So this this Mirror Blade has to protect him at all costs. And some of these Cypher Lords are in a bad position. This pawn right here, dead. Don't even learn his name. That guy is dead. Well, he's not dead. He's getting taken out. This being the Trial of Champions, you don't die until you roll double 1s on the injury chart. So pretty low percentage chances you can die, but when I was doing my trial games to get everything up and ready for the show, the very first game that I did, 2 models on the Untamed Beasts that I was playing died. Outright died. And I didn't earn enough glory points to recruit them both back. It was bad. So you can die. All right, hero phase. Let's roll these initiative dice. Again, we're going to start with the Iron Golems. That's what we've been doing, so we're going to keep doing it. That's 6 dice. That's 2 4s. Oh, that's 3 4s. We got a triple. We got a 2. We got a 3. And we got a 1. Okay, over to the Cypher Lords. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? We got a double 5 and 3 singles. Okay, or 4 singles. Great googly moogly. That was a 3. So, Cypher Lords are going to decide first, and they are going to assign a triple. The Iron Golems have a decision. They can assign a single and challenge for first activation, or they can assign a double and get to do a little bit more damage. They're already going to do a ton of damage. I hate to say this because I really want the Cypher Lords to win because, you know, they're our home team. They're the story we're telling. But the Iron Golems are going to challenge for first activation. This is clutch. This is huge. I don't like this. I do not like this. I wish I wasn't doing this. Why am I doing this? Someone stop me from doing this. I can't even look in that dice box. Oh, the Cypher Lords take it. Holy crap. Okay, Cypher Lords get first activation. They rolled 1 higher than the Iron Golems. That is intense. Holy crap. Let's clean up those singles. Let's set aside those triples. We got to do something. We have to do something big here. This is outrageous. Okay, I thought about it at length. Cypher Lords are very tricky. They're very squishy, so you have to really think about what you're doing with them. You have to really think about who you're activating, and you really got to think about how to use their abilities, because their abilities could get you hurt sometimes more often than they get you out of a bad situation. And all my musings have just dictated that what I'm going to do first is I'm going to activate my hero first, because if I don't, she gone. She's in a very, very sticky situation up here. So we're going to activate the hero first, and we're going to do the first round of attack is going to be on the Drill Master. My hero gets 5 attacks base. So we're strength 3, Drill Master's toughness 4. That is the kind of roll we needed to see. Holy cats. That is 2, 4, 6, 12 damage to a model who previously had 3 wounds with a maximum of 15. That is ninja precision, a whirlwind blade dance, and a dagger right in the throat. That removes Drill Master from the equation. We are now in a better position than I ever thought we were going to be. That was methodical. That was beautiful. Wow. I'm glad you got to see that. I'm glad that was recorded. I am glad that that was on camera, because that was amazing. I now have a second activation, and I am going to use that to attack the Drill Master. Should I disengage? If I disengage and step back 3 inches, Drill Master will have to step into me, and he'll only get to make 1 round of attack. I don't need him dead. I need me to survive. So here's what we're gonna do. We're thinking smart here. We're thinking smart. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a step back 3 inches, because you can disengage on your turn. We are going to move deeper in enemy territory and just get outside 1 inch from the Drill Master. And you remember that gloom globe from earlier? Gonna pull it out from the inside of a robe and shatter another gloom globe. We're gonna use that 5 to reduce the amount of attacks that that leader is gonna get to have on my leader. And we're gonna try and keep the Thrallmaster in the battle until the bottom of this turn. And I think that that was a very decisive activation. That was huge. That was absolutely massive. We're gonna leave that for the end. We're gonna leave that for a little bit later on. Let the anticipation build on what's gonna happen there. There are some options. There are some ways that this could go, and it is now the Cypher Lords. It's actually now the Iron Golems activation. We're gonna try using that token to remind myself. And I hope you're having fun out there. I know I'm having a good time. I hope this is keeping you company while you paint, while you build, while you do some kit bashing. Maybe just watching this is what you're doing. I think Warcry is fabulous. I would be playing this game solo if I wasn't filming it. It is a lot of fun. And I would be playing with a friend if it wasn't in isolation. Although I'm starting to really enjoy just playing this game. I think that on an evening I might just pull the game out and play by myself, because all the factions are fun. I think they're all fascinating. I think they're all cool, and I cannot wait to fight a giant. I usually have him, oh, he's back there. I cannot wait to take on that giant, and I'm more excited about picking up some new models. I want to get that Stone Chucker. I want to get a Mind Flayer Spheranx. I want to get an Ogroid Minotaur. There's so many cool models for this game that I want to start adding to this campaign, and I'm really looking forward to it. But what I'm even more looking forward to is what's going to happen next. So let's see if one of these mean papas can do some smashing. Let's hit first with the little guy. Let's go for it. He doesn't often get into combat. He's in combat. He's going to get a full round of attacks in. So let's do it. He gets 4 attacks. He's a mean little machine. He's strength 4. We know that pawn's toughness 3. We know that. So that means that he's hitting on 3 ups. That's 3 singular hits. That's 3 damage on a pawn who has taken 3 damage already. That puts that Mindbound at 6 of 10 damage, so it's only going to take 4 more to take her out of the battle, which is entirely possible that it could happen right now. So let's take a look at that. Oh crap, I think it just happened. That pawn is no more. That Mindbound has been rubbed out of commission because we just did 1, 2, 3 more damage. And all we needed, oh no, we did not kill that pawn. I spoke too soon because she needs 4 more to be killed, and he only did 3 hits at 3 singles each. Holy smokes, the Mindbound is still in play. And because that Armador didn't move, he's got to roll for Cold Snap. Is anybody going to take damage in the cold? On a 1, a 2 is not a 1. So he's still in it. Okay. He is now activated, and it is now another Cypher Lord's turn. Well, let's do something bold. Let's get this Mind Glaive up 5 inches, and let's make a big attack. Does it make sense to get in closer so that he can't run away and damage our poor gut shot friend over here? Boy, I hope that I get over that gut shot injury. It would be really nice if that wasn't permanent. Okay, so this guy has 3 attacks with his flail and 2 attacks with his sword. He's got more attacks with that hammer. He's got less attacks with that hammer, but a bigger crit. Let's lock him up, because if we don't lock him up, he can just walk around us. Although he's never going to get there. So we'll just stay here. We'll just do what we're doing. We'll make it happen. A happy little accident, we'll call it. We'll channel Bob Ross into this Warcry game. I think Bob Ross would like Warcry. He gets to paint. Dude, are you kidding me? Come on now. He just wouldn't yell. Did you know that Bob Ross was a drill sergeant in the military? And when he got out, he said, "I will never yell at anyone or anything ever again." And that is where he got his passive optimism from. If you didn't know that, you're welcome. It is true. You can look it up. Okay, strength 4 versus toughness 4. Oh, you need them. You got them. 4s and criticals. Good golly. That is 14 damage to a guy who has 10 hit points. We just killed him. We just chopped him right in half while running and probably twirling, because these are super acrobatic magic ninjas. And we have removed another Iron Golem from the map. We now have every corner covered, and the only way that we could lose is... Nope, I think we got it. We're going to play this out. But I think the Cypher Lords are taking home another victory on their conquest to do something. I don't remember what they're doing. I can't remember everything. They're trying to plant a spy in the House of Talons. They're trying to get to the end of this quest so that they can, yes, that is what they're doing. So these act as the spies, the eyes and the ears of emperors and lords. And so they are trying to infiltrate one of the houses in Grand Archon's camp, base of operations, castle, fortress, I don't know. They want to be his right-hand man. And I don't know if they're going to underhand him. I don't know if they actually want to be his assassins or if they're trying to use him for their plot, which is probably what's happening. And they think they're doing it for Tzeentch, but Tzeentch is just using them, and then Archon's going to use them. And nobody wins when you make pacts with Chaos Gods, okay? That's really what it comes down to. Nobody really wins. You might think you're getting ahead, but then you grow this weird tentacle bird thing out of your neck and, you know, no one's happy. Unless you're happy with that. And then you're happy and the bird tentacle's happy and Games Workshop's happy. So let's move on with the game. It is an Iron Golem turn. We are going to deal with Ogor. Did I miss anyone? Are there any models back here that I didn't see? Is there anyone under here? I just want to do a check and make sure that I didn't miss somebody and something really important isn't happening because I'm overlooking it. Doesn't appear to be the case. Let's do it. You guys want to see Ogor smash? Ogor really likes to smash. So we are going to roll just 2 dice. Strength 6 versus toughness 3. That means 3 ups to hit. Let's go in on that dice box. Let's get a live action reaction. Whoa, he misses! This Cypher Lord is so wound up. He's so dancy. He's so excited. That's a she. She's so dancy. She's cartwheeling. She's dodging all out of the way. She can't hit him. He just can't hit her. Oh my gosh. Second round of attack. What's going to happen? Is it going to be the same? It is not going to be the same. The Cypher Lord fakes left and goes to dodge back to the right. But before she can make the move, Ogor's meat fist of a hammer just comes careening through, catches her. You know when you stand up and you hit your head on the table and you're not expecting the table there, how it hurts twice as much? Yeah, well, she thinks she's dodging the hammer. Hammer. That Mindbound is toast. Ogor just did 12 damage in the second round of attack. That is awful, but it doesn't matter because she did her job. She just locked these 2 dudes down. Let's go to the wide for 2 turns, which is exactly what I needed so that he could escape and take this back corner, and these guys could flee and take that back corner. That was massive, and now Ogor has to see if he's taken a shiver test. What's it going to be? You going to roll a 1? Nah, you're going to roll a 5. Ogor is fine. He don't care about the cold. So now we get a Cypher Lord model to activate. Well, let's bring this Mirror Blade back into the corner. We got to be it smart, folks. We're not playing to table. We are playing to win. And if we were playing, there's another little catch. If this were a full campaign and we were properly keeping track of everybody, it might be in your benefit to try and take another model out, because then they have to roll on the injury table. And it's possible that they would get a gut wound. But because this isn't working like a normal campaign, the Iron Golems aren't playing as many games, it's not in my benefit right now to tempt fate and go for a kill that doesn't really matter. When what I actually need to do is just hold this position. And now we are going over to the final turn. Let's go over here and see what really matters. Let's see if the Dominar can take out the Thrallmaster in 1 round of attack, because he has to step forward and then he's only got a triple. So we're going to burn that triple as a double. We're going to use Onslaught. We're going to add 1 to our attacks characteristics because we lost an attack. So we've got 3 dice. We're going to throw them. We're strength 5. We need 3 ups because we're toughness 4 over here. What are we going to see? What are we going to see? Let's look in that dice box. It's going to be 3 crits. It is not. The Cypher Lords are safe. The smoke obscures the eyes as he takes that swing and he just barely lands a glancing blow on the arm of the Thrallmaster. He only does 2 damage to a model who has 13 wounds remaining. That is not enough to take him out. And that was the last Iron Golem activation. So he has now been marked. I, as the Cypher Lord, have a model in every corner. we're going to just move this luminant back here, make it known, and then for my final activation, we'll move here so I don't have to roll on the ice. Sorry, I was not in the wide, but you can see from the wide that we've moved into the back corners. That's it. Should we roll the dice? Let's find out. Even though I've taken it by default, we're going to assign this front corner here 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, this is exciting. What am I going to roll? Can't see it. It's a 3. It's a 3, but you're looking at it from the top, and it's a D4. So, corner 3, the Cypher Lords, take it. Amazing. That was super fun. That was super awesome. I took 3 injuries. Well, I took 3 out of the game models on the Cypher Lords and managed to actually remove 5 Iron Golems, which is intense because the Iron Golems are super, super tough. That was great. That was a lot of fun. The Cypher Lords managed to prevent... What was I actually doing here? The attacker is trying to purge the battlefield. Yeah, okay. So the Cypher Lords prevented the Iron Golems from getting in and purging their sacred artifacts. That's exactly what it was. We threw down a solid defense. I think that was a really good gameplay strategy to try and bring the Iron Golems in the middle and then to split back out to the edges. It worked for me. Let me know if it works for you. How have you handled the purge before? And how do you fare against the Iron Golems when you play? And how do you like playing as the Cypher Lords? Are they your favorite? Do you enjoy their mechanics or do you struggle with them? Talk about it in the comments. I'll be happy to engage with you. I love this game. Let's talk Warcry. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, keep your dice on the table and may all your rolls be 6s.